I think it's, oh no, I thought it's like 30 or 29 is the highs on Saturday. No, no, Saturday. I don't think it gets up that high. Yeah, I think it's lower than that. Yeah, yeah. What's that all about? Uh, 59. Where is Vanessa? Oh, I've been sick too. Last couple. Actually, that's been 3 weeks really. Well, cold, then it kind of morphed into bronchitis. After about it was about 2 days in between when it was cold was sort of like, oh, it's over with, I feel normal, and then 2 days later, here it came again with just hard to breathe as normally. Yeah, yeah. Well, you can take aspirin, Advil, and that type of thing. It's almost like taking nothing, unless you really load up on them. Well, I take that Advil PM at night. You sleep a lot better now. But but you wake up and it's still the same thing. Still hot, still tired. 6 o'clock. So we've had a lot of conversations here. We're going to call the meeting to order here. We do have a quorum. Mike's not here, but we still have a quorum. Let's stand up and do the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a prayer by Garrett. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's bow your heads, please. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight with a lot of items on our agenda. I pray for wisdom over the council and the mayor, that we make the best decisions for the city and for the citizens who voted us in. And I just thank you for giving us the freedom together and just the freedoms we have in this great country. I pray for protection over our troops and our armed forces and police across the nation. I pray for just peace within our country, and I pray for safety this weekend as we prepare for some icy weather. And these things we ask and pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Okay, Georgina, you're the only citizen that's got a comment today, so come on up.
That's okay. I only have 3 items. One of them mainly is the holiday decorations. I know we have an ordinance that says it has to be removed after 10 days, after the end of the holidays. Do we have any deciding factor as to the holidays that they represent? Point I'm bringing out is the one for Halloween. We have that 12-foot skeleton that remains up from Halloween till after Christmas. I think it's a disrespect to us that celebrate Christmas. It has nothing to do with Christmas. And I noticed today or yesterday that they finally took it down. And I don't know if they were asked to take it down, but it's 10 days after January 10th. That thing is the ugliest, words cannot express my feelings on it. And I think some people don't see it because they don't go up that street. It is kind of hidden with a tree. I'm sorry, we're at a different house now. The next item is the black flag that is on Firestone. I don't know what a black flag represents. It's not an American flag. That house at one time had displayed an American flag upside down. Lamar Shuda had stopped in to visit the person, and the individual said it represents disregard or not happy with the country. The person is now flying a black flag, solid black. Can somebody find out, can we permit that, first of all? I know we can't, it's probably the person's choice, but can somebody explain what the black flag represents? I mean, if it's a disgrace for the country, I don't think we need it in this community, but our hands are tied. We can't tell a person what to do and what not to do. But I just want people to be aware that this thing is flying in our community, okay? And the third and last thing is, has anybody come up with conclusion as to what caused the grass fire? My concern is, if it was on a Saturday, we did not have any of our equipment out there mowing. We do have golf carts, but I think we've all gone to gas, am I correct, or electric? Could it have been the electric car?
We have a mix.
And if it is a person who smokes and they went to put out their cigarette, I think with this burn ban, I think we should supply these people with a ashtray so they can dispose of it in the ashtray and not on the ground, because that came very close to houses, and I think it's scary. And we do have outsiders who could care less about what goes on in our community. They don't respect anything. I'm sorry, but I noticed that because I'm living on the golf course. Anyway, that's my piece for the evening. Thank you for listening.
Yeah. And I can address those real quick.
Would you do it in your city manager
Absolutely.
report?
Yeah. Thank you, Georgina.
I think in your city manager report, you have it on there anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's move on then, to the city manager report.
Sure. All right. So, agenda items of note for tonight, just so we can go over them real quick. 7A is calling for a municipal election. They'll take place on May 2nd. That needs council approval to happen. 7B is the tennis facility lease with Lance Cowart. That's up for renewal. The only change in there is removing utility payments on his part. He said that he can't continue doing it with those in there. And then 7C is appointing a member to the Meadow Lakes PFC after resignation. Ongoing projects. So on Broadmoor, we have a pump station that needs a little bit of work, and our crews have been working on that. There was a failure due to degradation of the rails on the pump that's there. We're looking at rebuilding that pump and potentially purchasing a second one as well. The cart barn, Johnny can fill us in a little bit more on this, but a brief synopsis is that it's nearly done. We probably have less than 1 month left before we're in there. Definitely less than 1 month left. We should be in there the first week of February. We're planning to move the bar operator, Jasmina, who's up at the Hidden Falls restaurant, into the temporary pro shop, which will be at the cart barn, until our new kitchen facility is in place. So hopefully that won't be more than 5-ish weeks that they're cohabitating. It'll be a little cramped in there, but we'll have no lack of service for golfers and patrons in getting alcoholic beverages and cold sandwiches for now. And then we'll have hot food again once she's over at the actual restaurant or kitchen space. Street sweeping, we want to get into a regular pattern of street sweeping to make sure that we don't have debris on our streets. Right now, we're holding off on that so that we can finish up the cart barn. The burn area that Georgina mentioned, there we do have need to trim that area a little bit better. It appears the cause of it was an electrical spark from nearby wires. Not a smoker, though I do agree that for smokers on public property, we should definitely have designated areas. That was not the cause. It was spotted by an employee who reported it, and we got crews over there very quickly. But it is something that we need to make sure doesn't happen again. That's also our burn area. The cause was not caused by, or the fire was not caused by any smoldering in the area, but knowing that that's where we do have fires when we need to burn yard waste, we need to do a upgrade to the berm there and make sure that the perimeter is clear of all dry grasses, because if it happens once, it'll happen again. The Lakeside Park, there was some erosion from the July 4th flooding. There, it's technically a POA project. However, we're ready to help them as soon as we're finished with the cart barn. We've also talked to some landowners nearby who would be willing to chip in when there's the project happening. They would just pay their portion of any concrete that gets poured for that erosion fix. The golf course, on the number 10 hole, Johnny brought it up at our last meeting last week, that there's been about 5 to 10 feet of erosion towards the cart path there. We need to plan a fix for that before it swallows up the cart path. And then I've talked with a couple of homeowners around. Actually, they've contacted me because they'll get little swampy areas, either in their backyard or right next to it. And some of those could be from runoff from our sprinkler system. A lot of them could be from underground springs, because we've checked and there's no sprinklers right there. And that's a little bit more complicated of a fix, because we got to install a sump pump or something akin to that and pump it on across to our closest reservoir. Storm sirens. It does not appear that there's any additional funding available to us for storm sirens, even though that's going through the state right now and will become available to counties. It appears that they want that their specifications would exclude Meadow Lakes from benefiting from that. However, we do have $60,000 in our budget to go ahead and put that in, and that's something we'll have to talk about at some point if we want to go ahead and pull the trigger or wait another year and see if funding does become available. Personally and professionally, I think that we should get them in before we fall into the criteria, which most of it is going to go to communities that were drastically impacted by it. So if that's their criteria, we don't want to wait around for that to happen. Codification project. We do have our proofs in from the company that is doing the codification project for us. They're emailed to all the council members. There shouldn't be many changes at all needed. We can schedule a meeting if anyone would like to go over those, but they're just the codes that we gave them put into one document, and then when we give them the go-ahead, they'll upload them online, and we can show everybody how to use our new system.
So
Yep.
we will have to review them in the paper form. Or can we,
It's a digital copy.
oh, it's a digital, okay, that's
Yes.
what I was wondering. So we can review them online then?
They should be in your email. I can send you a copy if you want a fresh one. And then council rules and procedures with a new year starting, maybe at the next city council meeting, we should review those. Some state statutes about when we have to post a meeting have changed. So our rules and procedures haven't been adapted to that yet. So I think that we should probably take a look at it so that we get a better timeline on it. And then I've completed my first full year here, so I want to, coming into this new year, thank everybody. Our wonderful city staff, the outgoing city manager, Johnny. Nothing would have gone nearly as smoothly without all of our all-stars that we have working for the city. So thank you very much. I'm looking forward to another awesome year with everybody. Are there any questions for me?
Yeah, I was just to say, the back part of the city, of the northeast, does have some water that can come in from the ranch. That's not controlled water, that's uncontrolled water. Would we qualify based on that?
That I don't know. We might be
Yeah.
able to make an argument for it, but
Actually, the controlled water, that they all say already does have a horn, and you can hear it pretty well all the way, at least to the park, Lakeside Park. But that northern edge of those, around Firestone and so forth, that those areas could be actually actually benefit from a siren.
Yes, they could. Do you have insight into that, Mr. Thompson?
A little bit. I talked to Garrett for just a few minutes to get, what's the judge's name?
What?
What's the judge's name?
Brian Wilson.
Brian Wilson. Because the county did, you see me talking in the paper, the county did receive $1 million in state funds to install sirens and low water cross monitoring. So I talked to him about that, and there are no guidelines at the moment, but in the hearing committees, their intention was one thing, and they just haven't got it into law yet, I guess they have it written down, was the only thing that money, that group of money would be used for is in the areas that was hit by the recent flood. So we wouldn't qualify for it. But there is $50 million more sitting there for like projects that I think would probably, what we gave the judge said he'd be glad to sit down with us, talk us.
Can't hear you, Johnny, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I'm losing my
Can you use
voice.
the microphone? I can't hear you.
But Judge Wilson said he'd be willing to sit down and work with us and help maybe figure out a way we can get part of that money. But right now, he said it's kind of a turmoil to some degree because no set rules. It's just kind of been, they would go to meetings and they said, this is what's going to happen, but nothing's set out. But they do have $1 million, but it has to be, they did say it had to be used in the areas where we had flooding in the past, which I guess makes sense. So,
Well, if anybody remembers, but back in the early 2000s, I'm sorry. The flooding we had was from Backbone Creek, and it flooded from all of those houses in the back where
Right.
where we have, where
Yes, ma'am.
hole number 12 and 13, all that water flowed down toward the lake, and so that was the major flooding area, back then,
yeah.
because of the creek.
Yes, ma'am. I think we can document some of that stuff and might help us out because, we were flooded from the lake as well as what's come down Deer Lick flooded a lot as well, which ran into and I think almost every one of our spillways, or what do you want to call it, that came off the streets, our spillway off the streets, every one of them were loaded up with flooding houses as well, or flooding pretty close to houses because the house is supposed to be above 1 foot above the floodplain, but some of those areas that put them below the spillway 1 foot, so they could have been. So, but at this time, and then I guess we just need to make the pull on if we're going to put them in, because I was talking, and I'm going to let Garrett talk about it here in just a minute, but Gary and I was just talking about we'd like to have them in spring or something early, where they will do some good for a year. So I'll let Garrett take care.
Until it's too late,
Yeah, and so, and then the only thing I have not, and I'll touch base next week with Cottonwood may be interested in the same type of system, so maybe getting 3 of them would cut down on some of the overhead. And then we also need to go talk to the PD, or the sheriff's office, who would manage to actually set the machine, the sirens off and control their use. Because we don't have anyone 24 hours a day that can do it.
Yeah, from what I understood is that the sirens can be set off by the local emergency services dispatcher or even the National Weather Service. If they issue a tornado warning or something.
Because as it's set up now, it's by, and it's got a computer that goes with it. Plus, basically, it's set up now is to go by an operator actually having to push a button to turn it on and off. These are I know we went over this once. These are very, very unique sirens because there's some requirements on FEMA, and the testing is done sub-silent, so you don't hear it. But there is a way of verifying it. And it also has speak capability where the mayor can come on and make a public announcement So there's a lot of flexibility with this compared to the old mechanical electric ones that just had a motor on it. and
Yeah.
Just go around.
Thank you, John. Go ahead, let's go ahead and keep going with the, Johnny, were you gonna give the utility also, or were you finished? Okay.
I am done with that.
If you need to stay there, that's fine too. Or just move the mic, it's portable.
Okay.
Yeah, please, and get it closer to your mouth, 'cause
Yes,
people couldn't
wait,
hear you.
yes, ma'am, I'm hoarse.
Right. So
You'll
get-
hear it, it'll go up.
Hold it like a
it'll go down.
microphone.
Yeah, it's just part of my treatment, so. Again, again, I can't thank the utility crews. There it goes again, I'm losing my voice, for all they've done. It's apparent that a sewer main on, this is a couple of major items coming up. This one we're unknown, I'll talk about. It's apparent that the sewer main on Broadmoor has separated. While the sewage continues to flow through it, a blockage does show, it does show a blockage in the line. We ran our camera, which was 200 foot long, and it was 20 feet too short to get to the leakage. We bought a new camera it's 320 feet long. They took it over and tried to use it, and they got to a spot where they couldn't get over a hump with it. So they pulled it back out, and we're gonna run it from the lower stream, which is, and hopefully the pipe is enough that we can get in there to see what it is. But this thing's gonna take a contractor to do, and it's gonna be very costly, because the thing's 19 feet deep. We have no way to access it. And it's gonna tear up a yard, gonna tear up Broadmoor, because when you open it, a hole up big enough to work 19 feet deep, even when you dig a hole to work 19 feet deep, you've got 35 or 40 foot clearance around it, just because of the depth and being able to get in and fix it. So we're assuming that it's sagged and just settled at a joint that probably was not jointed well, enough to get to pass a pressure test, but not enough to stay.
This is like a 12-inch sewer line?
I think it's 8.
8-inch?
Yes, sir. And it's a maiden feed into the lift station to Broadmoor. So we'll probably have to end up pumping sewage. So, I mean, Broadmoor is gonna be basically a closed street except people, I'm sure, before it's over with. By the time we get through with that, trying to route piping around it, hoses around it to keep, everything going while we're doing it, because it's not gonna be an easy job. But Will and I did talk to a contractor already, and he works these depths. He was I guess, he was carefree about it, I guess, pretty well, wasn't he, Will? Said, no big deal, because I've done it in the rivers and I've done it everywhere else, so. Anyway, but that's a pretty good trend. I mean, a pretty good job that we'll undertake.
Do they know that, is it down towards that lift tip?
Yeah, we've got it pinpointed.
Okay.
Yeah, no, they've got it pinpointed, with the sewer machine, because they couldn't get the machine over it, either way. So they know that they've got, but what they're pulling out is mud. So that's pretty well indication that it's separated.
Johnny, or
Yes, ma'am.
are we going to think about increasing the size of the pipe while you're in there?
No,
Just
ma'am, it would
cast-
be a just total disaster, because, I mean, we'd have to dig it up 40,
Okay.
50, 60 feet either way.
Oh, okay.
At that depth. So basically, we'll go in there and fix it and, and put it back in service.
So the current size of the pipe would be enough because?
It's
of
been
what we-
adequate, yes,
Okay,
ma'am. Oh, yeah, the
that's-
current size of the pipe is adequate.
Okay,
It's just that there's a problem with it.
yeah,
And it just developed with a sewer backup. It actually goes all the way up to the far end of, or up to the corner on Broadmoor, because that line is weighed. And the line that they're working on, and the only reason, and it makes no sense, and this may be something we can look at when we get to it, with the contractor, my understanding is it's a dropped manhole. which means it comes in at like 6 foot and it drops down to 19 feet, and it goes into the lift station at that depth. So we might be able to save money and a lot of time and damage to property is to check that and say if it is a drop manhole, if it is a drop manhole, it's very possible that we could probably shallow it up and relay that pipe without having to drill it as deep as it is. Because I don't know why they did that. I do, because the lift station is about 30 foot deep. So they wanted to take it in about midway. They normally take the sewage in about midway in the lift station. But we can always go higher. It doesn't make any difference.
So there is probably sewage leaking out of that pipe.
Yes.
There's sewage leaking right now.
Yes, yeah. And that's probably not the only one, to be honest with you. Because you never know until someone complains whether one is or not. Especially in that expansive clay we have over on Turkey Run and St. Andrews. It's very difficult over there because they separate. But thankfully, most of it's in the yards. We hadn't had really any mains. They really did a good job of bedding over there. So, but I didn't know this line was this deep. I've never, but I do know on Mahan we have a main. It's 18 foot deep, and we had some issues with.
I can't hear a
And-
word you're saying.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Barbara. I'm just, my voice is
Don't
about
worry
gone.
about
We had on Mahan is 18 foot deep, but it's in what we call classified as sugar sand. Very, very flowable, very, very dangerous to work in. We hired a company out of San Antonio to come up, and what it was is when the taps are on top, they push the pipe through the taps. So we had to have a specialized company come in and actually cut those taps off. So, anyway, we got that done. About 4 stories, I'm over with. Okay, going to water consumption.
Yeah,
Hey, I got my voice back for a few minutes.
okay, go ahead.
Underwater consumption, with the arrival of fall, winter consumption for October increased by approximately 1.5 million gallons compared to September 25. The average, man, I don't know what happened. That's supposed to be all December instead of October. That's my problem.
Okay.
So those are supposed to be all December instead of not October numbers. But anyway, we did see a water consumption increase from month to month, and but slightly down. And slightly down for December. September should be December. I have no idea, and this is proof twice. I'm sorry. I apologize for that. So basically, we're seeing a little drop from 2025 to 2026. The customer statistics, you can see the numbers. Our water customers, we've got a very stable water base, sewer base. It varies 1 to 2, and that variation is actually related to move-ins and move-outs. You know, sometimes we'll have 2 meters on a renter, you know, for a month. We'll have the homeowners plus the renters, so that varies time to time. Good indicator, I guess, is trash collection. That's pretty stable. He'll tell you that right now we've got six more. They're going to be gone. 6 more than we did in August of 25. Water consumption, if for 24 was, customers. We had 224 customers, 900 water customers, and 900. Okay, that's giving you a comparison above. I'm sorry, I'm kind of dense today.
It's okay.
We sold about 49 more million gallons, about 46 million gallons less in 25 than we did in 26. Man, this is, I'm sorry, this thing is
29
really
million to save
terrible.
more gallons?
49 million dollars.
49
49,
million.
yes, sir.
Wow.
Okay, here's the total water sold in 2025 totaled just under $220 million. In 2024, we sold 171, so it was a 24% increase instead of decrease, because the rainfall was less in 24 and 25. I'm sorry this thing's all messed. I'll fix it up and send it back out
Okay.
tomorrow. Seasonal maintenance of crews have several projects that they will be working on once the temporary golf shop is completed. Of course, the main project will be the repair of the sewer line on Broadmoor. While this work will mainly be done by a contractor, in order to save money, we'll be assisting them with moving dirt, because we're going to have to haul everything out and store it and haul it all back, so we'll be doing all of that. Additionally, we have 2 lift stations that need to be repaired. Will touched on only one of them. We have another one, it's the same way. They use stainless steel rails that the pumps slide up and down on, and those rails are broke loose at the top. Well, it's not stainless steel at the top, it's just iron top. Also, I guess we're gonna be out, I stand there when Will got the quote, about that pump on Broadmoor. We lost it, so we have one pump running. The pump is $12,000, but we'll just have to bite the bullet and buy it. We'll send the ones there off to get repaired, if it's economically repairable. Get repaired to have back on the shelf, because we always like to keep one on the shelf, but because the expense of those, we got 2 pumps like that, one on Broadmoor and one on Deer Lick, and one's like 9,000 and the other's 12. So we didn't keep those spares. We did have a spare.
Can that spare be used at either?
No, sir. You gotta have 2 different pumps. Yeah. Once we divert the water from Deer Lick onto, straight to the sewer plant instead of going to, currently it goes from, goes to Broadmoor, and then it's repumped back to the sewer plant. But once that water is relieved, we may be able to downsize these pumps back down to something a little more economical that we can use. We'll touch on this just briefly. The fire at the sewer plant, we were lucky. Yes, we had grass too high, no doubt, but we were extremely lucky because someone was there, and one of our employees was driving by just as it was started and went down there. And it's to me, it was very obvious. The wind was blowing out of the northwest. The only place the fire was right below the power pole, in the area we're in. It blew north to northwest. So, but that was the same time we had the power outages. So it could have been a spark. The wind could have sparked something together. But it was very obvious to us that it started at the bottom of the pole. Now, PEC says it didn't start there, but it was green grass where it started. And it traveled from a spot about like this to up the hill. Oops, excuse me. We did have some damage from the fire. Our tub grinder, which is insured, we have not had time to look at it, did catch on fire. It caught on fire the first time, and the fire department put it out and they took off. Then I couldn't get them to come back and put it back on until it was blazing. It was another department. So we don't know how much damage we've got there. I'm assuming the conveyor belt and almost all the hydraulic hoses. So that'll be an insurance claim. The other thing that's really probably going to be costly to us is that we've got a 48 and a 36-inch culvert that drains the water behind the sewer plant to keep the water from affecting the settlement of the structure. The inlet structure was probably never completely done correctly of those 2 pipes. So what happened was the grass grew up and it burnt. And so we're going to have to go in and actually put in what should have been put in first is a good, or a pretty cheap, or the best we can afford concrete structure to funnel the water into the pipes. That way the pipes won't catch on fire again. And FYI, I didn't know this till I talked to someone, because this is actually as stout as concrete pipe, but you don't see it on the highways because of this fire. It burns. But we were lucky it didn't get under and burn anything interior. It just burnt the first 3 or 4 feet that was out in the grass. So, guess that's it. If you have any more questions, I'm sorry this thing's so messed up. I have no idea how it's messed it up so bad.
Johnny, I'm going to paraphrase something you told me this afternoon, just for the people here, is as far as this weekend is concerned, the city has already started, well, actually they finished, checking out all the pumps and all of our generators so that we'll be able to have power to keep the water flowing during the freeze. This is exactly what we did back in 2021, and we're the only city in the area here that didn't get a boil water order. So we kept it going because of all of our backup generators, and they've worked on that today, checked them out to make sure they will run. It's always important to do that if it hadn't run in a few years. So all that's been covered, and I think we've got as good a preparation as we can get.
Yes, sir, we got a little bit more to go. I talked to him this afternoon.
Oh, you
late.
still
So
got
there's
more?
a little bit more that will finish up in the morning.
Well, that's right. Correct me if I'm wrong on that.
No. And then while you got that, I got all this data here, and I think I sent it to Mark. And this is from the National Weather Service. You can pull this up from just tap in Austin, San Antonio National Weather Service, and they are a bunch of reports and a bunch of the stuff you can find on there, ranging from what events they are in Texas this weekend to rain to everything. But the main events they have right now is the Arctic air is going to arrive on Friday afternoon. Long duration freeze in the hill country in Austin Metro, and I'll get to that in just a second. Wind chill values be in the single digits to upper teens Saturday night. Precipitation developing behind the cold front Friday through Saturday night. Freezing rain across the hill country Friday night and Austin Saturday, and it will impact travel. It appears at the, and this, they change this every time they run a report. Every time they run a report, the temperatures appear right now, they've got them projected to be 48 degrees on Friday night. At 6 a.m. to be 33, 34. It drops down to 22 by 9 p.m. on Saturday night. It drops down to 25 degrees on Sunday night at 9 o'clock. These are all 9 o'clocks. And then 6 o'clock on Monday will be down to 19. But we have, so basically from afternoon of Saturday till Monday morning, late probably, because they only extend out, well, until, probably noon on Monday, we'll have below freezing temperatures. And that's what really hurts us. The good thing about all this is it's not the 3 to 5 degree stuff. This is in the higher teens to the lower 20s. So it's not going to be quite as bad on our plumbing systems. That won't appear as it would be normally. The biggest thing is ice accumulation on our power lines. Oh, I don't need that one, Bruce. I'll get it in a minute. Let me find it again. We're out of the 0.25% accumulation, but we are in a 10th by like, let me find that one. 30-something percent. I think 37% possibility of having a 10th of an ice accumulation on the power lines. And of course, that's where we're going. That's always where we get. We do have transportation problems with the ice, and we will order sand in where we can try to keep Meadow Lakes Drive open up the hill and down the hill, or probably only do areas that are really dangerous and let, probably the Columbines, the real heavy trafficked areas, and the gate. That's the main we usually sand everything with. But we usually don't have a whole lot of transportation issues. I've never had it in 48 years. We've had the last one we just did get sanded fast enough for Meadow Lakes Drive when we had the snow in '23. I think so So but we don't handle any snow. We don't have any snow equipment besides the backhoes and skid steers and stuff like that.
What's the percentage of precipitation right now they're forecasting? Did you happen to check it? I thought I saw
I thought
85.
92, I saw this
Yeah.
afternoon.
And
Yeah,
that's
I think
on
it's
Friday.
90.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
And then
One of these, let's
It's
see.
on Friday during the day, I think, right? Precipitation on Friday.
it's Friday
And then
and
it's gonna be,
And Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay.
and Saturday, but I mean, it's gonna get cold, so if it rains on Friday, it's gonna
Yeah, I-
freeze.
Yeah, the icing.
Okay. Precipitation, I'm gonna do these at 3 PM, because we'll all be awake then. What they're predicting is 50% on Friday, 80% on, this is 55% on Saturday, and on Sunday pretty well goes away. But it gets up to 80, I mean, from 6 PM on Friday to 9 AM on Saturday, it's 70 and 80% chance of possibility of precipitation. Of course, our temperatures are gonna be down. I think the
Do-
Saturday morning stuff is what's gonna,
So you're saying we may put sand on Meadow Lakes Drive, but do we know what Marble Falls is gonna do?
I have
since-
no idea.
I wonder,
Yeah.
you know.
I think they're, I'm just trying to compare the dates. We shouldn't have any freezing precipitation Friday. It looks like it's gonna be starting around 6 o'clock Saturday morning.
Yeah.
And that's only for like 2 or 3 hours.
Where do you get the sand from, Johnny?
We just buy it locally.
Oh, you buy, okay.
Yes, sir, we buy it locally. We've got about a half a load down there already, but we'll order another 1 or 2 in. Because we use the same sand to sand the roads that we use to put in drying beds. So we usually try to keep some. I'm
Could-
sorry, I ran long.
Yeah. I'm wondering,
Fine, that's all interesting.
should we put a sign up, you know, the sign we have at the front of the gate now, just warning people, just in case they haven't paid attention to what the weather is?
What would the sign say?
Freezing weather
Coming,
Saturday and Sunday.
freezing weather. Oh, you mean the
I mean,
outgoing, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
just to let them know now, because there's some people that never look at weather, you know, just to warn them that
Like
it's
me.
gonna be low temperatures and possible
Icy roads.
icy roads.
Yeah.
But just, that's the only way I know how to let people know.
Yeah.
Good
Okay.
idea. All right,
Yeah.
thank you, Johnny.
Yeah, we get, I'll
Appreciate it.
try to get.
Let's keep
I'll
going
get
then.
with Will tomorrow and we'll write it up and see if we can get him to put it on the sign.
That's one of the most detailed reports we've had on utilities for a while.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you
then
very
also-
much.
Also, you'll be getting an email until this storm's over with, from me at least once a day.
Okay.
Just as an emergency newsletter from the
Thank you.
emergency management coordinator.
Thank you.
Some people will read it, some people won't, but
Yeah.
the days was really long, because I wanted to make certain everyone knew what the 4 Ps were and what you're supposed to do. So it was actually really long today, because it provided more information than just weather.
And
Then others will be short.
if someone is without power, we have the generator here, right?
We have power here.
We have power here.
For this
Yes.
building.
Yeah, in this building. I'm just wondering if, because, you know, there could be some power outages.
Yeah, they can come here. It'll be heated and cooled, and or heated, we don't need to be cooled.
We don't need to go.
But it'll be heated,
all right.
be heated, and we'll have, we'll try to keep coffee, maybe get some snacks and stuff, and bring in. And, Mark asked earlier if it's more severe, what happens. And, the Marble Falls Police Department is a storage facility for all the FEMA. So they bring in the cots and stuff. They did last time. I think it brought us 15 or 18 cots. Or 30 cots, I can't remember, 15 to 30 cots and stuff when we had the flooding. And we never knew when to spend the night. We had some people here spending the night basically, but they were sleeping in the chairs. They didn't want to sleep on the cots. We can't put very many cots in here. And then, but we are the evacuation center. And we're not only for Meadow Lake, we are for south part of Marble Falls. So anything, but, you know, basically we'll take it when it comes in. Unfortunately, this cycle around, we don't have a restaurant. Last cycle around, we had the restaurant so we could feed them real easy, because we had enough food on hand. But unfortunately, we don't have that this time.
Okay. All right, let's keep going. Let's go through then quickly the ordinance and animal control report, the patrol activity report, and the building committee report. Just go through those, Will.
All right, so ordinance enforcement officer report, you have it in your packet on page 5. Calls received on the ordinance line through December, there were 6, 2 to City Hall, and 4 calls or texts from residents. Parking violations, he gave 6 written warnings, all were complied with the next time he checked, and citations, 1 trailer parked in a driveway, 1 inoperable vehicle. Trash can violations, 7 written warnings. Yard violations, 4 written warnings, and 1 commercial sign that was removed by the contractor. We are trying to focus on parking here in town, gotten some input from the community, and it's something that we definitely want to revisit or visit once our codification is finished. The way our enforcement works right now is there's not supposed to be any parking on any of the streets unless you're picking up a passenger or dropping a passenger off. That's technically how it is. If you want to park on the street, you're supposed to have a pass. You're allowed, within 7 days, you're allowed to park on the street for 3 of them, and that's an exception. You're allowed, so it's written, you're not allowed, and then it's written, you're allowed for 3 days out of 7, or 7 out of 30, whichever you hit first. And so we are treating this on a complaint-driven right now, because we cannot track every vehicle in town. Because that's what it would take theoretically to have 100% abatement of parking on the streets. We'd have to know, and it's anywhere in town. Doesn't matter if you move it, the clock's still ticking. If you park on a city street, that's 1 day. If you move down the block, on the 2nd day, that's 2 days. If you wait a week and come back, that's your 3rd day out of 30. So I'm well aware that we have too much parking on our streets when there's not supposed to be, and it can obstruct traffic. Yes, Barbara?
Are you talking about overnight parking or daily parking? Overnight.
The real issue is overnight parking.
Yeah, that's what I
The
thought.
way it's written, it applies to all parking,
Yeah.
day or night. There is a difference with the overnight parking as well in there, but technically, all parking is prohibited on streets in Meadow
Oh.
Lakes, unless you meet special conditions. So we are working to be their best friends and visit them frequently when we have a complaint against a specific spot. There's 2 others. I am going to try to keep this brief, but 422 St. Andrews is under construction right now, and it has been for 9 months. They have 3 months left in their permit. I've gotten numerous calls and texts and emails about it because for many it is an eyesore. They have a big dirt pile, they have a porta potty, they have broken concrete out there. We have contacted the owner several times. It's owned by a real estate company, which is housed in a building in Cedar Park that is for rent on Zillow. It's a residential property. The owner's voicemail goes right, or his phone goes right to voicemail, and it says that he's out of the country indefinitely.
Oh.
So we've begun proceedings. We're talking with our attorney so that we can solve 2 issues. First is the immediate eyesore, and the second is we don't want an abandoned building there. I don't want to make assumptions. It could be that they'll show up tomorrow and finish the building, but I'm not counting on that because they've been unresponsive. So I want the public and the city council to be aware that we are addressing that. It's not a quick fix. We can't just go in there and fix it for them. But that is a good thing that we have constraints on our government, so we can't come onto your land and just do what we want, just because your neighbor has complained. Yes, Johnny?
One thing you might look at is the line of sight ordinance.
Yeah.
Because that line of sight ordinance, you can start issuing citations where it's slow with the building, but that dirt pile does create a line of sight, because you're supposed to be able to look to see what's coming up to you, but you might check it.
It's a good idea.
And then, there are some exemptions to the parking.
There are.
They're during Christmas and Thanksgiving, there's some
There are lots of
exemptions.
little exemptions in there.
Yeah,
but
there's a lot of little
the basic
exemptions.
just is not allowed. Then holiday decorations. It was kind of obvious that they had Halloween decorations and then put a Christmas hat on it and said it's a holiday decoration. I don't think it's our business necessarily to say what is or isn't a holiday for someone, though I agree that outside of one movie, there's not much to do with skeletons for Christmas. I agree. We did contact them before the time frame was up. It was just January 10th. All Christmas decorations are supposed to be down.
Error, you said Christmas. You shouldn't say Christmas, you should say decorations, holiday decorations. When you said Christmas, it's not a Christmas decoration, so they don't have to abide by that.
It's a holiday decoration, yes, and we want to use common sense and courtesy to deal with them. They did take it down, it was a little bit slower, we did write them 2 citations for it. So it's abated now, but we want to be a little clearer in the future and maybe continue the conversation with those homeowners on what the expectations are. 9 times out of 10, if you tell someone their grass is too long, it's in a code violation, they're gonna go trim their grass. That 10th time, that person either can't or won't, or has issue with being forced to do it. We do have some special conditions, special exemptions or exceptions here in town where someone may not be physically capable, and we wanna be understanding of those and work with them, but this does not appear to be one of those, or those skeletons were not.
I have one request on the, on these, the ordinance report. I would like to know, particularly parking violations and trash can violations, if these are repeat offenders. Because, you know, there's no way of knowing, when, like, for instance, for parking, it says written warning 6. Are those new ones that never existed, or are they repeat? Because they do comply, but then the question is, how long do they comply? And I think that would be important data for us to look at, is who is getting those written warnings.
Absolutely, we can show that. Going forward, animal control, Mr. Mason said it was a slow month. He did actually write a ticket about 2 dogs that had gotten out. He was well aware of them, that it wasn't their first time, and within 2 hours, they got out 2 times. So he did issue a failure to control dogs warning. We're very fortunate that Jerry likes his job so much and is such an animal lover, because he takes the being their best friend and being polite to a level we should all aspire to, I think. So for him to write a ticket saying that, you know, you're gonna get your dogs hurt, I think it was the right call there. Moving forward onto our patrol, we do have Sheriff Deputy Rich Chofee here with us. He's our patrol officer. His hours usually don't allow him to be here, but thank you for joining us, Rich. I can go over his report, and he's also available here for any questions or input we'd like to give him. We have talked a lot about the concerns in our community. Even though we're one of the safest towns in Texas, nothing's perfect. So some of the focuses have been stop signs. You're finding new spots to hide, which is good. Thank you for that. Being proactive around the community.
Let us know where they are.
You know, being up at the gate, being visible is a good deterrent. Rich has also been going around town. Some of the main things he's looking for are stop signs, speeders, and underage drivers. That applies to golf carts and cars. On scooters, it's the same laws as long as it's under 40 cc's for the scooter as a bicycle. So they are allowed to go speed limit on a.
They're allowed to go through stop signs?
No. The same law, just like if it was a bicycle, you're supposed to stop at a stop sign.
They don't.
Yeah, and that's,
I've not seen a bicycle stop in Meadow Lake since I lived here. And they're gonna get killed. Somebody's gonna get killed, and then it's gonna be too late.
so catching them can be difficult. Even if we had a full police department, we can't have a police officer on every corner at all times, nor can we get them with cameras. That's not allowed in the state of Texas to give them a fine or a violation based off of a traffic cam. Yeah, Rich, do you want to address us and say what you've been seeing in our community?
I guess I'll just speak really loud. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
All right, excellent. So, yeah, bikes are a problem. One of the
do need to pertain to all traffic laws. Stop signs, speed limits, but those bicycles will not go above, if it's a proper bicycle, at electric CCs, that's under 40, it will not go above our speed limit here at 25. That's how I know they're obeying the law within the code there regarding the 40 CCs. You know, the other thing is, you see me at one stop sign, you know I'm not gonna be at the one down the street. So I know they get ran, and someone tells me they get ran, I'm like, I get it, but they see me here, they know I'm not gonna be down the road. Same thing with speeders, they see me in my hiding spot, they know they're gonna speed down the road because they know they're going past me. There's only one of me, and I'm trying to do what I can to, you know, persuade them otherwise. Questions? Yes, sir?
Yesterday, I saw 4 electric bikes doing wheelies going out the gate. That's not permissible, is it?
No.
Doesn't sound like it.
No, I'm afraid they're gonna get killed. That's what I'm afraid.
I understand that. Usually the best direction is talking to the parents. If I can talk to the parents. I've talked to some of the parents, and it's worked out pretty well, especially the kids driving the golf carts. And they understand that state law, you cannot operate a golf cart, period, without a driver's license.
Oh.
Your city ordinance allows you to drive a golf cart with a licensed driver. So, basically, if I want to go by state law, you are not, period, will be driving a golf cart without a licensed driver. I'm allowing them to drive as long as they're not breaking any laws with a licensed driver, as it says in your ordinances.
Okay.
That's not really the problem, though. The problem is when you've just got kids under 16, right? That don't have a parent supervising them. That's more of the problem, right?
Or
I agree.
A lot of the problem is they think that STOP stands for spin tires on pavement. And they just don't abide by, you know, what's supposed to be happening.
I agree, but I don't see it, I can't catch it. I have written citations to the parents for allowing their underage children to operate a golf cart without them there. I don't know what happened, I don't follow all my tickets, whether the judge gave them a fine or not, I don't know. But they have been issued citations for that.
Well, we could probably carry on this for a long time, I guess, but,
Yeah, one last question. What should we do if we see what we assume is a child driving a golf cart by themselves?
In today's, the way today is, you could safely maybe follow them to the house and see that the parent is there. I would not confront the child. It may even be a bad idea to confront the parent. Parents be very protective of their children. I don't have a clear, concise opinion how you should deal with it. Confronting a child could be problematic for the child and the parent. Could be an altercation that could escalate for no reason, besides just a little Class C misdemeanor. And I'm the only one that's able to write citations in the city of Meadow Lakes. So if I don't see it, I can't do anything about it. Same thing with the other deputies. They can't patrol the city. I'm the only one that can patrol the city. So all traffic code is only going to be enforceable by me. The other deputies are not allowed to enforce traffic code. They can enforce penal code, but not traffic code. Did I answer that question?
Yep. So if you see an emergency, call 911 though.
Always call 911. Always.
did you have something, Carol?
Yeah, I would
don't know.
suggest.
One last question here.
The only thing we can do is really continue some of these things in newsletters, or signs up at the front to remind parents that children, cannot be operating the golf carts, and from a safety issue, or however we want to word it. But I think we just have to keep that up in newsletters on the front, constantly reminding parents that it's their duty, because children without a driver's license is illegal, but it's a safety issue. Because
Yeah.
we've seen them race up and down with kids hanging all over the golf cart. So far, no one's gotten hurt, but I think that's all we can do is keep reminding parents.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Building committee reports.
All right, moving on to building committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard.
In December, there were 2 denied permits. One was for new construction, one was for a variance, and then we have 12 in progress. Any questions on that? And the building committee is aware of the 422 St. Andrews eyesore. Yep, and we'll check in to that some more.
Okay.
Moving on, Mr. Klotz is out on, he's sick today, so there's not a report from him for this meeting.
Golf operations.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll dispense with that then. Moving on to consent items, let's first talk about minutes. We've got two meetings that we have minutes for. One was the December meeting, and one was the one we did last week where we approved the LOC and the building. Any additions or corrections to those minutes? If not, let's vote on it.
I move that we accept the minutes from December 16th, 2025, and the minutes from January 13th, 2026.
Okay, all in favor? Oh, second, Bruce second. All in favor? Okay, that's passed. Now to move on to the
All right, financials.
financials.
In your packet, council members, you have one set of financials. It's the same numbers as the one that was sitting on the desk. However, I've received a little bit of conflicting input on what you'd like to see, so I just made 2. The first is the full numbers all on one page, and it has a breakdown. The first 2 the first 2 pages are the municipal corporation as a whole, and then the next 3 show month and budget for each month. The one that you have on your desk that's just stapled, that's just showing the year-to-date, because we are through our first quarter. So this is the Meadow Lakes assets versus liability. You can see that overall we have $14 million cash on hand. About half of that is from our capital improvement fund. And you can't read this, I'm sorry, but this is page, apologize that that's too small, page 17, which is showing the breakdown between, yes,
I need to talk about page 17.
yes ma'am.
The numbers don't add up,
Okay.
and I took a long time to add it.
Okay.
But just at the first, I just don't need to go into it, but the numbers don't add, they don't match. Even the recreation fund, you've got services rendered, Coffee Complex, 266,785. Total operating revenue, 267, 389, doesn't even match. So, what I need you to do, is to redo that page, the numbers, if you add the numbers, they don't come up with the totals you've got. I
Was
don't
this
know
done
how
on
it
Excel?
happened, what you've got in there that you shouldn't have in there, but they don't add up.
In the recreation fund,
You've got 2 numbers, services rendered, Golf and Complex, 266,785.
yes ma'am.
Total operating revenues, which should be that number,
No,
why not?
because there are operating revenues that come from sources outside of
Then it
the,
should be in there.
well,
If you've got a total operating revenues, then you need to have the numbers in there that belong.
Just
Otherwise,
put it
how can
under
anybody
other or
figure that out?
miscellaneous maybe
Sure.
next time.
I'll make sure to include,
And then, that's the same thing with general fund, you've got numbers that aren't, I come up with a different total operating revenue, you have numbers that are different than the ones in that column?
there may be minor ones that are not included, yes.
I'm a bookkeeper, so I really have to have my numbers add up, and they don't add up. So whatever you need to do to fix that, I'd appreciate it.
Okay.
Okay, that's it.
Is this from QuickBooks or is it from Excel or what?
The numbers are from our finances on QuickBooks, and then they are transferred to Excel.
Okay, so theoretically, then if it's coming from Excel, it should add up.
Yes.
It should, my apologies, there's
Okay.
several hundred rows, so
You
in
condensed it
deleting-
down
In
here?
deleting a couple hundred of them, I might have removed one that I shouldn't have.
Yeah.
So I'll make sure that that's in there.
And
Good
then the
enough.
next page, you have Meadow Lakes General Fund, October to January 26th, isn't that October to December 2025?
Well, I haven't gotten to that yet, but,
That's the
no.
next page.
Yes, ma'am. And I chose to include, at the time of doing this report, we had already gotten in our ad valorem tax. And I wanted to show the most current accurate picture of where our finances are 1 quarter in.
It does, you need to compare apples to apples, not apples to oranges. So if this report is October to December, that report needs, you wanna do a separate report for January, that's fine. But it needs to compare.
I understand.
Does anybody disagree? Okay, thank you. That's all I have for that.
Okay. All right.
I appreciate that input very much. Thank you, Barbara.
Okay.
So, general fund. You can see that our projected revenue for the entire year is $1,164,000. So far, we have $507,000 in, which is approximately 44%. That's outpacing our expenses, at which we are at 31% of our budgeted expenses for the year. Here's graphs comparing our actual cumulative versus projected cumulative profit and loss on the right there, as well as our cumulative revenue and expenses for the general fund. Going on to the utility fund. It's a similar story, not identical, that our total revenue for the year so far, we have 26% of that in. Total expenses at 24%. Here's the same setup here where you can see the cumulative revenue and cumulative expenses and profit and loss. We're up on where we were budgeted to be for our profit. That's because a lot of our large expenses were front-loaded into the year, so we could get at them right away and have not yet made those purchases.
Hey, Will, I wanted to ask you, on the months here, when it shows December for revenues for like ad valorem, is that when the taxpayer paid the revenues, or is that when we received them from the Burnet County Central Appraisal District?
That's when the county sends it to us.
Okay, so it's whenever they get it in our pockets, not when the taxpayer paid it?
That's right. I'm not sure of their processing time, but
Okay.
it takes a little bit, there's a little delay between it getting paid to them and then the city actually
We
getting it.
receive it, okay.
15 days? 15, okay, about 2 weeks.
We get 2 deposits a month.
Okay. Finally is the recreational fund. Total revenue, we're sitting at 32%, just over 300,000 of our budgeted projected amount. Total expense, we're at 36%. We were a little bit over on our payroll this quarter, and we're gonna have to curtail that a little bit. We do have a small staff with a small budget for managing a golf course that's full 18 holes. But we do have a longtime employee, Terry Barden, is retiring at the end of this week. So our staff will be decreased by 1 count. Going on, here's a graph. You can see it's a similar story there on the cumulative profit versus loss for the recreation fund. We had, if you recall, a transfer at the beginning of the year from the general fund to the recreation fund with the intent of making some purchases with that money. Since it hasn't been spent, or it wasn't spent right away, we're now kind of trending back towards that middle ground. Does that make sense?
Which one?
The graph on the right there.
Is that a tractor?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
It got delivered today.
And it got delivered today. Okay, good. All right, any questions on consent items?
If I
Yes, ma'am.
wanted to see a breakdown, could I get a report, like a P&L or something for the breakdown, like it's got administrative expenses, but I don't know what the subcategories are.
Yes,
Would
ma'am.
I be able to see that? Would that be
Absolutely.
all right?
I can supply you with any information you want.
I'd like that,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay. Are there any further questions on the financial statements? Anyone? If-
What's that?
For now, his responsibilities are being delegated to two other employees. He was a de facto superintendent after the untimely departure of Trinity. And we do need to look at long-term planning for that.
So for the term, right now, there's not an active plan on replacement.
That's correct. Yep. Yep. His payroll responsibilities have been given to one employee, and then day-to-day management has been given to another.
Okay.
But his expertise is missing.
His expertise is, he's going to be volunteering a lot, hopefully.
Okay, very good. Okay. Financial statements, is there a motion to accept?
I move we accept the financial statement.
Okay,
I'll second it.
Garrett seconded. Carolyn made the motion. Any further discussion? If not, let's call for the vote. All those in favor say aye, or raise your hand. Thank you. Okay. Now then, we've got old business. Johnny, could you run us through the community center complex?
Okay, let me find my notes, I just had them and I covered them up.
Okay. Move that mic a little bit closer to your mouth also, John, when you start in.
Well, let me find them, I just had them out here just a second ago. Sorry. I'm the most disorganized person you'll see today. I'm sorry, I found it. Nope, that's the wrong one. When it's printed in this thing, it's hard, kind of hard
Ours
to
was
find.
page 21 to 23.
21, Johnny, you wanna?
21 to 23?
Yeah,
I got 21. Okay, I got it. Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm not gonna go much over the temporary golf shop. I'm not gonna go much over the temporary golf shop and the cart barn renovation since we already did it. We've been discussing it. One issue I have is that I'm over budget and I have not had time to look to see what caused me because I was about 50,000 under budget last year or last month, and now I'm 5,000 over budget. And I can't recall any invoices that I've signed off. We're guessing that it's probably an engineering or a architectural fee that was categorized wrong. I'll check on that tomorrow and see, because we should still be in that 180 to maximum, but we're not there because we hadn't bought some of the equipment for the interior yet. So, but I'll double check and let you know when I send out the corrected monthly report. But basically, by looking at it, you can see still got about $23,000 net gain. If you look at everything, kind of give you an outlook on what we've done. We've met several times. That there's a team. We've kind of got a team now. Mike Shaw has joined it to help me. He's got the construction on the part that I don't know construction on, so it's going to be a good team. So we met with PEC about moving the transformer and everything. That's is going to cost us. We don't know yet. We told them not to invoice us until the end of the month because it has to be done in 30 days. And didn't want to pay the invoice now and then have the transformer removed before we're ready to vacate the building. In regard to vacating the building, everything, the total operations will be moved by the end of the month. We'll start going in. We can't take anything off the walls or anything like. We can't take, because we don't go in and take all the switch gear. We can't touch any of that because it has to be baited at first, so we have asbestos in that area. But we will go in and take ceiling fans down, salvageable equipment that does not affect the wall surfaces. Audio, video equipment, all that kind of stuff we'll take down. The problem is well, in talking to Will, I have made a deal to move Jasmina's equipment that she's going to use in the new building and store it temporarily for her. And then also we're going to help her move from one spot to the other, which is pretty minor. She doesn't have a whole lot of equipment to store other than what she'll be using, but we do have a considerable amount of equipment left in the building when she leaves. Most of it's got probably some value to it, but Will and I was talking earlier, if we can just find someone that wants it, just the reason because time, if maybe we get $5 or $10 for it and we'll spend, 40 hours trying to market it. So it's some of that, but some of it does not work. We've got someone interested in the Vena hood, but I told him that no, can't touch the Vena hood until after the asbestos, and then they'll have to be insured and everything to do that, because that's actually removing some structural portions of the building. Once the abatement has been done, we'll have about a week to allow the fire department wants to utilize the building for training, but all the asbestos has to be removed first. So they'll go in and probably knock doors in and cut holes in the roof and stuff like that. So we want to make certain, and in the meantime, we'll be taking out our equipment that we want to salvage out of it at the same time. And speaking about the sewer line earlier, we met with a contractor, Will and I did. Hopefully he'll be moving in right after the 1st. He will be able to do work since it's outside the perimeter of the building. If it was inside the perimeter of the building, he couldn't do any work until we get our permit from LCRA. So anyway, hopefully by the 1st we have that. In regards to what Nash will be doing, the first thing they'll be doing is they'll go out and survey, locate everything, they can start putting up their silt control, which is that black stuff. You'll see it everywhere. And they'll be able to put up their security fencing. We discussed movable fencing around the putting green to try to keep it in operation, but decided to go ahead and put permanent fencing around it because it will be damaged probably in the first phase of demolition. And then in addition to that, we've got a 30-inch stormwater drain. It runs right through the middle of it. So it'd probably be totally destroyed anyway. So anyway, but they're waiting on us. They're ready to go. Is that kind of what y'all got, Will?
Yeah.
Well, I think they're all ready to go. It's just a matter of us turning the key to let them start. And they can't do that till we get the LCRA permit. But they did go ahead and do all the permitting for the asbestos abatement, which I think he said, they take about a week, 5 days, 3 to 5 days to do.
He said a week or two. He said it
Yeah.
could be longer, but with the small amount of asbestos we have, I can't imagine it going past a week.
So anyway, we have that to do before we can even touch the building. So there's a lot of steps involved that we wasn't aware of.
Johnny, do you need the LCRA permit to start asbestos removal?
I don't know for sure.
I mean, it looks like you could just say, well, that's a safety issue. It's not part of construction.
Yeah, well, it's not nothing to do with exterior stormwater.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll email Zach in the morning
Okay.
and ask him and see. So
Okay.
yeah, it'd be great to have that done before they get. I mean,
Yeah.
even if we don't have the permit, but we can't disturb soil without the permit.
Fair enough.
And then we have not done anything in regards to moving the putting green or the chipping area yet. As we was talking about earlier, Mr. Barton, that's retired, he has promised me, and I think he'll enjoy the heck out of it, to come back and help us rebuild both of those. Because he built the original putting green himself. So he said he'd come back and help us. So hopefully we'll get that. But again, it's a 36-inch. I thought it was a 40-inch stormwater, but it's a 36-inch stormwater pipe I'll be running through there. There'll be a lot of confusion at first when the security fencing goes out, Because basically, the security fencing will go out almost to the middle of the tennis court. So it's gonna take out a lot of the chipping area. We're gonna have to put that's where we're going to put a temporary, the water line that has to be moved for the golf course runs right through there. So they get through, we're just gonna top it with granite gravel, and that'll be the cart path. And then we're going to have to cut into a berm and then sell some blocks to get a level area. When you make the corner when you make that corner going back to where the tennis pool will be. And that whole area in there will have to be reworked. But it's kind of hard to figure out what we need to do till we get the security fencing up to what we need to do.
So we're gonna wait for the security fence and then do the temporary
we're going to go
cart
ahead and
path?
work, no, that one that we know for
Okay.
sure that we're going to have to cut into that berm. We're going to go ahead and do it.
Okay.
Hopefully get started on it right at first of the month. But the others are you can kind of wander off the others until we figure out what to do, because they're pretty flat, so.
So Johnny, so we'll actually close both the putting green and the chipping area.
Well, the chipping area can still be halfway used, because basically from about the middle of the
So
first
they could
tennis
use
court.
it from the backside from the range?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, and it'll be a short chipping range,
Yeah.
because they'll lose about half of it, to be honest with you. Because if you look at the first tennis court,
Yeah.
the good rule of thumb is everything's going to be behind the net
Okay.
to the north. So, excuse me.
To the south.
Everything will be to the
South.
south. Yep, everything to the north will be. So they can still use it for chipping and stuff. But it just won't be long chipping. And then it'll probably take, and talking to Terry, he's waiting on reports on some grass. The putting green will probably go in, I'm gonna say probably latter part of March or 1st of April. But a lot of that's gonna be determined by the grass. But we're going to put in, we're not gonna try to save what we've got, because it's got everything in the world in it. And it's just moving one bad thing to another. So and that's why the price of $45,000, I believe, is so high, is we're gonna replace it with a grass. Is basically it's rolled out. You roll it out in 5-foot lengths and put it on the green. And San Saba recently did this to all their greens before the flood, and it washed them all away. But they redid it, and they were playing on it in 5 weeks, and said it was perfect. So this will kind of give us an idea of what maybe we want to look at in the future on replacing greens. Is this stuff? But we don't know the cost of the grass yet. That's what are kind of holding us up a little bit, and everything.
So actually what we're gonna be doing is that part of the chipping green that still will be in use, that's really where the putting
Putting green.
green's
Yes,
gonna
ma'am.
go. So we'll turn that part into a putting green.
Yes, ma'am.
And then we won't have a chipping area until we do it on the range.
Yes, ma'am. And
Okay.
that's one of the, I hadn't talked to Will about priorities, but that's probably one of the lower priorities on our
Yes,
part.
I
because
realize, yeah.
Because there's going to be a lot of work involved in that. 'Cause
Yeah.
we're going to have to put poles up, we got to put netting up, then we got to build the tees, and then we have to put the chipping area in there. And then somewhere in there, we're supposed to need to throw a bunker. I don't know if we'll get that done or not, because the school's requesting a bunker to be installed, because they play on courses that get bunkers and they don't have opportunities to play here. But bunkers are notorious labor eaters, because it takes a lot of time to keep a nice bunker going. So, anyway. But other than that, as Will had said, I'm going to speed it up a little bit. I'm going to say we're going to be out of the new building by the 1st of the month. Right now, to kind of give you a little idea on the interior of the building, the exterior is finished. It needs to be painted, but we can paint that while they're occupying the building. All the concrete was finished up today, so we don't have to deal with that. We also will have to put handrails up. We've got to do some exterior work, but basically the interior, hopefully we'll have the cabinets set by the end of this week. We have one column in the middle has to be painted, basically, and then we're through. on the interior of that part. The bathroom, the men's bathroom should be through tomorrow. The women's bathroom, we're gonna have to build a petition for, the petitions, 2 petitions for it. So we're gonna build them in-house. So they should probably be, hopefully be finished by the end of next week. So I'm looking at maybe Jasmine being able to vacate the building the first week, or the week before, the week after next. I'll get it out in a minute.
Okay. That's the
So-
first week of February.
Yeah, so before February, the last week of January.
That's next week.
Next week? Oh, well, we were good on a stick then. It'll be close. It'll be
Okay.
real close. But do you have anything else, Will? I mean, it actually is turning out good. And I don't know if you have seen, I don't know if Carolyn's seen the cabinet sit in there.
Well, that's what I was gonna ask you. I was talking with them about using, they were trying to use the current cabinets in there, except there's no way of moving them without cutting.
Oh, no,
So
we've
what
got-
did y'all decide to do about that?
They can be moved. They can be split and moved on furniture. But we've got an employee, again, this going back to what we've got. We've got an employee that's actually was a prior granted tabletop installer. So he knows how to break it. They say you break it. There's no seams. It depends on how the seams were put in.
Yep.
But he said, you don't actually break it, that's just what they call it.
Yeah.
But he said it's very time consuming because you have to sit there and pick it out, basically, to get to a point. The other point is if it's epoxy to the counters, then we'll have to go in with the oscillating tool and cut them loose. Because we can't move it with the tops on it. I mean, we could, but it would be so blasted. It takes so many people and everything. So it'd be easier to remove the countertop and then just move the desk and paint. I think they're gonna repaint those and then put the countertop back on over there. And then that's one thing about we want to try to save the countertops in the bar. I don't know what we'll do with them, but I mean, there's several thousands of dollars of countertops sitting there that there may be, if you get half of it, but we'll have to do that, take that out, and it'll be the same way. It'll have to be taken out in pieces, but it's already broke, but that one end's already tilted up, so it shouldn't be too difficult to remove. But we've got to figure out how we're gonna store it, because everything, our storage limited, if we had, is getting full. By the time we move the restaurant equipment down there and everything. We're talking about maybe buying a portable storage building or renting a Connex or something, because we got TVs, we've got couches, we've got some furniture, we got all kinds of stuff that needs to be stored, other than just out in the open at the sewer plant. That's the only place we got to store anything. So that was something that Will and I was talking about just earlier. So just put the numbers to it and see which one's the cheapest, in the long run, and except we have a asset at the end that we can always, you never run out of storage. But other than that, everything seems to be, again, we're backlogged. If I was a guessing man, I would guess the 15th of February might possibly be a groundbreaking. It may be something you don't put on the February agenda is when you want to do groundbreaking. You might consider that, because all I said is I want to take the first bite out of it. Either with our excavator or theirs.
I have had a request from a couple of residents that they'd like to know when we're gonna take the building down, because they would all like to gather and have a toast.
Toast to
The
it.
old building. So,
I don't know.
Good idea.
Well, oh, okay. 17th is the council meeting, she said.
I was gonna ask one other question, and hopefully it'll be my last. What about seating area when they're buying their beverages there from Jasmine at the new facility?
That was,
Will they stand up and have their beer or whatever, or will they?
we're gonna move the existing outdoor furniture over there. That all belongs to the city. because we double-checked that today. We
Okay,
went
good.
through the list of who owned what, and that was
Uh-huh.
not put on the list that she wanted, so, so that all belongs to us. We'll move that over there first. The shade cloths will come before, let's say the shade cloths will come summer, before summer.
Yeah.
because-
Summer gets here before,
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause
before
it's
June
gonna take us-
21st.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess it'd probably be in the March area.
Yeah.
Time, we've just got so much, the utility crews, we've got so much backlog, especially maintenance on equipment that we've got to get done before we can tackle another project. That one's not difficult, though. We just gotta do it, you know, plant some poles and do
If
some
we,
measuring.
Johnny, if we do a groundbreaking ceremony, do we have to approve of that at a council meeting?
I don't know, I think you might just come to an agreement when you wanna do it.
Yeah, because I don't want that to hold up groundbreaking.
No.
We gotta get on that.
No, ground, but
Yeah,
because I don't imagine they'll actually be in with, they start unloading equipment probably around that time, but I don't
Okay.
think they'll actually start doing anything until they get everything squared away with the LCRA first. And hopefully that will come real quick.
okay.
I mean, once they get the letter of credit, then hopefully we'll get our permit pretty quick. And it's 10 days after that.
Okay.
Do we have a chrome-plated shovel?
I don't know, but I bet I can find one spray painted that
We
color.
can spray paint it.
Spray painted.
Okay.
Yeah, I gotta order all y'all hard hats, so I'll get that done.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Or you have your own hard hat.
Okay. Any other questions, council? Nothing? Okay, let's move on to new business. Just three items. Discussion of resolution calling for an ordering of a general municipal election to be held, I guess in May. Filing period has already started and it'll run through February 13th. And there's 3 positions to be filled. That's Mike Shaw's, Carolyn's, and mine, I think. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll let you take over from there.
Yeah, this is a pretty standard resolution for calling an election.
We just have to approve it, though.
Yeah, are there any questions I need to answer, or?
Okay, is there a motion?
Have we communicated that call for nominees or candidates is open? Has that been?
We
Yeah,
did
he
put that
put
out
in
in
his
a newsletter
newsletter.
last week.
Thanks, I'm sorry. I didn't-
Yeah.
No, that's a good question. We'll put another one out, 'cause-
I would also, we need to roast it, but not this week, because we need the ice stuff, but you could put it on the board, too,
Yeah.
true.
you know.
Well, we're running out of things, no shortage of things to put on the board.
Yeah,
are we?
well, short, yeah.
I'll make a motion to order Resolution 2026-01, calling for and ordering a general municipal election to be held.
Okay, seconds by Barbara. Okay, all in favor of having an election? Okay, very good. Moving on to the next one. Authorizing the mayor to sign a tennis court lease. Now, we've already had a tennis court lease with Lance Coward here, who's used to be a big pro in the U.S. tennis circuit. He played against guys like Andrew Agassi and Jim Courier, some of those guys. He's a real good tennis player, but anyway, he's been leasing this thing for us for a couple of years now. The one thing that's changed, that was changing in it, and I hope I'm not stealing your thunder, Will, but he's been paying for electricity, and that was fine when we had gasoline carts. But about three and a half years ago, we bought electric carts, and he's been paying to charge our carts, so he wants to back out of that business. So that's the big change here.
But he's only done that for about half the lease permit, because he's paying $0. He's paying $39 because he's paying on our own meter for a long time.
Yeah,
That finally got caught for.
Yeah.
The vast majority of it, he can't complain.
yeah.
And I'm speaking.
Yeah, it's fine.
The only other thing is I got concerned about is he's not maintaining, as the lease requires him to maintain the windscreens. They're piecemeal. They're just pieces of junk. I mean, because they'll put one in, then they'll stick another one in, and it's terrible. We spent like $8,000 or $9,000 putting all brand new windscreens up when he took it over. So I think if we're lighting him on electricity, he needs to put windscreens up the way they should be, instead of buy one 10 by 12 where that was just where the other one broke off and tore off, and then it tears off and then he puts another one up.
Oh, okay, just a patchwork
It's a
thing.
patchwork.
Yeah.
You can just look at, you can look at it and it's patchwork.
Okay.
And
Barbara?
then,
Okay, I have a problem with the lease with the tennis courts. We have
Okay.
all these people coming in, pardon me?
Speak.
I talk pretty loud, I'm sure everybody can hear my voice, but I'll talk louder. Okay, I have a little problem with the lease with the tennis court. We have all these people coming in to play pickleball because we're cheaper than Horseshoe Bay and other places. We have people in our community, when we used to be closed, it's now open to anybody that wants to come in. Okay, we want to do that. What are we earning in revenue a month? Because we're supposed to get 10% of his revenue each month in addition to the $100 a month he's paying for the lease. What are we earning? I don't see it on these financials anywhere.
Do you have it, Will?
That was the one that you pointed out being omitted.
What?
That was the line that you pointed out that you didn't see numbers for.
Okay, how much was it?
About 1,200.
For the year, for the 3 months?
I believe so, yeah.
$400 a month.
$100.
For the 3 months or for the year?
What'd you say, Johnny?
Wasn't
It's
it
$100
quarterly?
a month.
Yeah.
It's $100 a month,
Yeah, I know that.
plus electricity.
But he's supposed to give us 10% of his
Yes,
revenue.
ma'am. He's
And how
supposed to
much,
give us 10% of his revenue at the end of the year.
how much do we get?
I don't know.
Well, it's revenue after he gets his payback from whatever he put up originally.
We really should know that.
It says
Yeah.
it's to be paid quarterly to the city.
That's Vanessa. I think Vanessa handles that, doesn't she? That's
Don't
a
we have that
Vanessa
number
question.
somewhere? Don't we have that number somewhere in our books?
It's there. It's there.
Does anybody else have a problem with all these people coming in to play pickleball in our community?
No, it's
No, I don't have a
public,
problem
we're a
with it.
city, so,
Well, we used to be private.
well, yes, but now
It's not private, it's city-owned,
it's a
so.
city.
I know that.
Yeah.
So I would like to know the revenue.
Can, maybe Will can provide us at the next meeting with the revenue, because it says that we have the right to audit their financial statements.
Yeah,
So we need to make sure that we're collecting that 10%.
Sure, anything you want to see?
Thank you.
Make sure we got that.
And the lease is for
3 years.
3 years.
Mhm.
And that was my question, is why we did it for 3 years. We'll have the new build-out within 2 years, which means our whole facility should be worth more then. I was just curious, was the previous lease 3 years?
Yes.
Yes, it's only been
But
one
was it
term.
for the same, was it the same amount, and we have not increased the lease?
That's right.
And why not? Any place else I know that after a certain period of time, they raise the rent.
Yeah.
Sure. So in talking with Mr. Cowart, he was going to back out if rent didn't go down.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And it would be up to the city council on how you want to vote. This is the best contract I could come up with him to provide this amenity to our residents and visitors. But, you know,
Do we know how many residents are using the pickleball? If we're using it, wonderful. But I think we have a lot of outsiders using it. So how is that good for our community?
Lance should be able to give that to you.
I'm sorry?
Because Lance should be able to give you that, because they have a booking site where you actually book your times
Yeah.
and where you're from, I think, and all that. So he should be able to provide that information. Now, it's not gonna be 100%, because I know, being up there at the cart barn, we have like 10 or 12 real young men, and I guarantee you, they're not doing a time slot, but they do live out here.
They're not doing what, sir?
They do live here.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. They do live out here, but I see them up there in the mornings, because I was quizzing the dress code,
Okay.
because they just play in shorts, and that doesn't really meet the dress code, but there's no one to enforce it, so,
Yeah.
Shorts aren't dress code for tennis?
you know, without shirts.
Oh,
Oh.
No shorts, no, just shorts, no shirts.
okay.
Oh.
Then we have another one that we have some difficulty with. Well, in fact, I've had to tune him down. Comes over, plays by himself. He plays by himself, but he does some pretty foul language while he's playing by himself. 'Cause I've had to go
Accusing
over and
everyone
calm him
else of
down.
cheating?
Yeah, 'cause, yeah.
So do we know when the lease expires? I mean, you don't want to have a problem. The current lease, do we know when it expires?
I think it's evergreen, is it, Will? I think it's month to month. right now.
I got it somewhere at home, I didn't bring it with me.
Was this the original lease? I mean, obviously, there's some changes in it. How come we didn't just do an amendment to the current lease and change those things instead of having, because, I mean, this lease is sort of pertaining to them, you know, talking about taking over, because you need to point to the fact that they have an existing lease, right?
I'm not sure about that, if we have
No.
to say that we have an existing lease.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they can sign a new lease, but we need to make sure that there's language in here that says the old one is now null and void. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
We can just send a termination notice on it, I think. I think we have the right to terminate at any time, but it's been a while since I've worked on that original one.
So if we can get the revenues, I would appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
The-
then,
I think my question is, the one that Johnny talked about is the maintenance part of it, is, if they aren't maintaining it, have we notified that they are not in compliance with it?
That is exactly my question too.
You know,
is,
I mean,
is part of the prize for the city is they maintain it, we don't have to. So
Right.
that took a big burden off
Yeah.
of us.
But-
if they're not holding up to that, that's a problem.
yeah, but you have to recall, we spent $12,000 about 3 months ago on resurfacing one court from proceeds from the insurance claim we had. But I think they owe us, what, $500 or $600 towards that? Because we only had like $11,200 and it come in at $12,000 and something dollars for resurface one court. So we've done some maintenance that we really didn't need to do, because by the contract, you know, they're supposed to do all that.
Did
Yeah.
they pay you for the deductible or whatever that was, the $600?
I don't know if they've got it or not. I need to check. Vanessa will know whether or not they were billed for it.
Okay,
Yeah.
those are good questions.
So I recommend that we do not agree to sign this until we get some of these answers. Is that
Yeah.
agreeable?
Okay, what are, first of all, someone take notes of what the questions are. One of them is the term, 36 months versus a year or 2 years, whatever. Another one is, and I don't know if it's part of the contract, but is to make sure that he's aware that he's got to hold up his end of the bargain on the maintenance.
Right.
Especially the windscreens.
Windscreens, mhm.
The other thing I have, it comes up, is the naming rights, because it says, the parties acknowledge that naming of facilities at the leased premises is subject to city's approval. That says they have the right to do the naming, and even though we're leasing it, this is our whole facility, and I just, it does, but you don't want it named something other than what we are. It's all I just,
Yeah, I don't know who put that one in there.
I mean, I'm just thinking, because I know that when we have all these facilities built, we're looking at what this whole complex is gonna be called.
Little history.
Well,
Okay,
it's
A little
dictated by the liquor license as far as the other building
Well,
is.
that
It's got to
wouldn't
be
be
Hidden
the deal,
Falls.
Yeah, a little history on that issue, because when the negotiations over the tennis deal, one of the items was being able to name a court. And at that time, if I recall, he had approached several local people to help, because he was trying to recoat the court, because we put the windscreens up and he had to recoat the court. So he was trying to come up with some kind of revenue stream that would allow him to maintain the courts. And he was, I don't know, I think he had talked to HEB, he had talked to a couple of other people, and it never panned out.
okay.
Because it basically went from, originally it was gonna be a tennis facility, and then the pickleball took over so much that because when we had tennis, we had some, fairly good size or comparable people come and play, put on stuff. And of course, we don't have that now. So That's just a little bit of history.
Okay, I do have one question that a resident brought up, is that, you know, they would like to start a league for young, for youth, you know, for children, for
yes.
playing tennis. And I know they're gonna go through Ricardo, but the question is that in conflict with the lease that he has controlling the pickleball tennis courts?
Don't take me to word completely, because I heard Ricardo said that him and Lance has an agreement on the usage of the courts. That's all I really know.
Yeah, I've heard them say the same thing, that
That-
he works with Ricardo on this stuff.
Okay.
Ricardo's
I
the
think-
guy
Okay,
that teaches, right?
Right.
Beg your pardon?
Ricardo's the guy that teaches.
Tennis.
Yeah, Ricardo's the guy that
So
teaches.
if a resident wanted to do something, then they would go through Ricardo to be able to schedule something.
That's right.
Okay. They've asked me that question, I just don't know how to answer it.
Okay, so we want to postpone this until the February meeting then?
I would like
Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Is there any way that we could have him, Lance, come and give us an update about the
Yeah.
whole operation?
I asked about it for tonight, and he's out of town tonight, so
Maybe for next
maybe
month?
next time. See if you can arrange something with him.
Good idea.
And I'd like to talk to him a little bit before, so I'll know what's going on then.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. That's all, that's all we have here, other than mayoral
Oh,
announcements.
do we have
No,
to
one
table?
more resolution.
Oh, yeah, let's
We have to,
move, have a motion to table it.
yes. I move that we table to the next meeting, the discussion on the, where am I looking for? Oh,
Contract for the, lease contract for the tennis
oh,
courts.
okay, I found it. The tennis court lease contract.
Okay. Is there a second? All in favor? Table it till next meeting. Okay, we'll do that. Next item is item C, is appointed a member to the Meadow Lakes PFC.
And can I give you that name?
Go ahead.
It's Brent M. Fisher.
Brent Fisher.
Right now, he's the president of the MGA, and he has agreed to be on the PFC.
Okay. Anybody have anyone else that they put up? I think we take it. Okay.
You wanna
Okay.
make a motion? No.
Any discussion, council? Okay, is there a motion to accept Brent, propose Brent?
I move we,
Appoint
appoint Brent Fisher, to the PFC.
Brent M. Fisher.
Oh, sorry. Resolution, I move that we adopt resolution number 2026-02, appointing Brent M. Fisher to fill a place two vacancy on the Meadow Lakes Public Facility Corporation.
Okay,
Thank you, dear.
is there a second? Barbara second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? I didn't see your hand, Bruce. You're packing up, I think. Yeah, okay. Okay, the next city council meeting will be February 17th, so that won't be too long from now. I have no announcements as far as community interest items other than what we've talked about today about the ice and so forth. Anybody else, council? Okay. So I'm gonna call for a motion to adjourn. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll second.
Okay. Bruce proposed and Garrett seconded, meeting to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned. Thank you.
I have to,
Oh, the revenue too, the other one.
I have to take medicine at 10,
Oh,
which means I have to eat by 8,
oh,
and it's not gonna work. It's a long meeting. Not gonna work.
Let me hand this back to you.
Oh,
Did you paint that?
oh no. Adorable. I bought it for my son because he's a motorcycle guy and it didn't fit him, so I just took it for myself.
There you go. Win-win.
Oh, thank you.
oh, Lillian.
I need a David, David, where are you parked? I don't see very well in the dark.
What?
I don't see very well in the dark.
Oh, I'll walk you out.
I'm that way.
That's okay.
Okay, thank you. My son,
If I don't make it home, I'll call you if I can't find my way around the building. What does Bruce Johnson do?
he's on the counter. He's just on the counter.
Does he have a special area or?
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
He's smart, though. I think he knows like engineering or something like that.
Yeah. Who was the woman who brought up the issues about the flags at the beginning?
The person Georgina,
I don't remember.
she had 3 things.
Yeah, Georgina?
She's always complaining about something. Do you know what the red and black flag is?
Yeah.
What does it mean?
Well, it's like the upside down American flag. It's signaling there's some distress about what's going on in the country.
Or problem with that, if somebody wants to do that, no problem with that. As long as he doesn't turn the American flag upside down.
No, that's the same thing. That originated,
Oh, okay.
there's a history to that. Both the black flag and the upside down American flag. So they've been used for a long time. It's not a